And whether it be in the form of a laxative or a solidification.
This is not a dream.
Maybe that's all it is, horse tranquilizer.
This magnet. No, I can see this as a magnet from prima facie, and it is. But you know, when you know that there's like magnets that are prima facie and then they're just left on the ground or given out, we're in a date of age where magnetism is at a whole new level, and you can tell that there are certain things that are propagated through it. And I'm not trying to make like a Hollywood movie with stuff that seems that would be in a Hollywood movie. But when regulators are lackluster, it begs for Hollywood scripted gold. So if you're Owen Wilson and you have $700,000 to memorize a script, but you're getting hired for like $2 million, you're obviously going to look like you, me, and Dupree because you have a cash cow running. Would you take specific drugs? Because when rappers take specific drugs, they can rap really well. They can memorize stuff, freestyle, write stuff on the spot, you name it. If when Hollywood actors take the same type of thing, liquid codeine or Adderall like kids in college that I was mentioning earlier, is it something that you're able to fake the funk and plug and chug for a moment in time to look like gold on the silver screen? I'd say so, and I think that's what you, me, and Dupree had in stow with Owen Wilson, because I knew as an actor I had problems with substance abuse. But to get that $700 a day catering and your hair gussied up, I think that there's more to the story, and that's why I want to interview him to see. Because there's only a handful of actors. There's Owen Wilson, and then of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, who famously made it with the script in Quentin Tarantino's movie where he couldn't memorize his script, and so that he had these constantly breaks, but it was a movie about these breaks where Leonardo DiCaprio couldn't remember the wording in his script, and they had to stop the production every time, cut the film. So is that like a thing that actors combat with, to memorize lines so they suffice to substance to help them memorize? I would like to interview Owen Wilson and ask if that would be the case to many of these degrees, because you don't need an entire degree to do acting class. The movie Superbad and 21 Jump Street, the actor in there, Jonah Hill, he revolutionized what it is to be acting in modern. And they're actually going towards what raw cuts are and like method acting, which is like Trailer Park Boys. But to have this kind of captivation be in a mainstream audience, it took a minute, but that's what people want to see. So in those movies like Superbad and 21 Jump Street, Seth Rogen and You, Me, and Dupree, I think was in 21 Jump Street and Superbad, is a case that just shows the professionalism in Hollywood can be sufficed to what not acting school is, and not needing a full-fledged degree, and just proponing to substances if you're a maverick. And really, I think that's what Hollywood is. So much the same to do with what rappers and I guess a lot of other artists would suffice to. It's nothing new, but that would be one way in capitalizing off of a moment in time. In rap, they call it freestyling.
Laxative. Maybe that's all it is, horse tranquilizer. Is this what had ran Hollywood wild? I'd love to interview Owen Wilson to see if on the set, memorizing his lines, it took some time, but if he was supercharged like a college student taking Adderall to memorize a few things, to plug and chug, is that what our school system is based off of? All the people around me in my high school couldn't wait to move because they saw losses across the board I'd love to interview Owen Wilson and ask, is this something that he saw? Because it speaks numbers between what is actual professionalism and not. If you're gussying up the production, anyone can have great hair if you have a production crew behind you with catering and then memorizing a few lines. This is when you separate the Mavericks. Owen Wilson, I think he was a Maverick. But when it comes to divorce court, with what that has in store for it, people cling on to a significant other for factions alone. A pirate or a military agent. What had ran Hollywood wild. I'd love to interview Owen Wilson to see if on the set, memorizing his lines, it took some time, but if he was supercharged like a college student taking Adderall. A pirate or a military agent, there's like, and notably, like, who